Hey guys, Mark here with Sensei Bobby, and today we're going to talk about the black belt mentality, what it means, and how I want you to use it for yourselves. Now let me say this, the black belt mentality is a mentality that you have from learning the martial arts, but you don't actually need to train the martial arts like we do. You can still use the principles to help your life. Let's talk about the 4 characteristics of having a black belt mentality. The first being continuing to improve so you can do better. Second is the discipline to stay on course even when things get rough. Third is not giving up. So this is either on your goals, on a dream, on just your life activities. You're not giving up. You have the discipline, like number 2, to stay on track, but then you don't give up until you achieve your goal. Little caveat, if your goal changes, then you can change where you're at, but you're not giving up, you're just adapting. The fourth is accepting failure and moving on in a positive way. Now, before we talk to Bobby about how the black belt mentality has shaped him, and he's trained with me for quite a long time, but he'll tell you. So let me tell you a personal story of how the black belt mindset helped me. Now, one of the more recent events in my life, probably about a couple of years ago, was almost being married, and then about a month and a half before, not getting married. So to me, I equated that to being in a grappling match or some kind of martial arts event where I gave everything. I did everything I could, I used every move I could, it got down to the last second, and then someone beat me with their best move, right? So I did everything I could, I tried my hardest, I didn't give up, but I just didn't succeed at my goal. Now that's not to say it was anyone's fault, sometimes things change, but that black belt mentality allowed me to keep going strong. Because at that point in my life, and Bobby will know, I had 2 options. I can sulk and do nothing, or I can evolve and improve. And I remember some of the at least one of the new students coming up to me who was watching from afar, didn't know me as well as Bobby did. And he's like, man, I didn't know how that was going to go. I didn't know if your business was going to tank. I didn't know if you were going to tank. But what he didn't know, what he knows now, is that mentality, that black belt mentality, to understand that in life, things don't always go your way, but we never what?
Give up.
We never give up. So again, that's one of the things that sparked Marc University and all the evolution I had from it. So it was some great contrast where I evolved as a person, but if it wasn't for that black belt mentality, my life could have gone a whole different way. Now enough about me, so let's talk to Bobby, one of my closest friends and black belts. And how long have you been training with me?
At least 13 years. 13
years, where I still had no gray hair, and but he's a barber, so he can help me out with that.
We can dye it.
We can definitely dye it pink or purple. So let's talk about the black belt mentality and what benefits it's helped you as a person develop. Because you were a different person then as you were now. I was different too. I was still the same height, but
well, it's helped me a lot. My dad passed away when I was training here, and right after that, I sliced my hand up. I was home. I was depressed, and you actually called me up and said, "Hey, you still got 2 legs. You can kick." So I would come in. My kicking improved tremendously. The stress I had from losing my dad really helped me out. And then from there, I ended up going to barber school, and I feel I would never went to barber school if it wasn't for learning, and because I wasn't a good student in school. And this is probably the only thing in my life that I've ever been somewhat good at. And
he's excellent. He's excellent.
And just the mentality of, you know what, I went and tried out the barber school. I went for like a little walk around there, and I went home and I told my girlfriend at the time, now wife, I said, I think I'm gonna do it. And she's like, you can do it. And I swear if it wasn't for martial arts, I would have never been able to do it.
And I remember just talking about that when you were gonna go into barber school, and I'm proud because I know where you came from.
Yeah.
And now, just from all the feedback I get, like I know you're awesome at your occupation, right? He's knocking the park. You're in Massachusetts for your shop.
Yes,
you want to give it a plug out?
The local barber shop on 81 Pleasant Street, right next door to Union Cycle.
So I know you do awesome with that, but I saw the growth in you. Now we're about the same age, but again, I've been training for 15 years since you came here, so I had already known kind of the process.
Yeah, and I had a dead end job. Well, not a dead end job. I work at UPS, but I drove for a little bit.
Wasn't fulfilling.
Just wasn't it. I didn't want to be somebody over me, and I wanted to have control of my life. Like you said in martial arts, have control of a fight, have control of everything.
Yeah, and I think the growth process, just seeing you training, we do a lot of one-on-ones, the growth process, for me to watch has been really rewarding. And I always learn stuff from my students, especially from you. So let's just talk about one last thing. So how has that black belt mentality shaped you as a father, a family man, or even now as a new business owner when all this stuff is going on? Because I can almost imagine if you didn't have that mentality and someone was in the same situation, people would just fold it up.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming anybody who did, but it's the mentality that you have. Even me, some days my business was established, but you have to keep rocking and rolling even when you don't want to play the guitar. That was good. So the question is, how did it shape you?
Well, we opened up October 15th, so we were a year this couple weeks ago, and it was a rough first year. We were doing well. Christmas was great. Went into the new year, and then the pandemic started shaping up. I think it was in February. It came to America, and I was nervous. We closed March 21st. The state closed us down. We were closed for 3.5 months, and I didn't know what to do. The first couple of days, I was like, how am I going to pay my rent? How's everything going to work out? And actually, from you, with the t-shirts and the sweatshirts and stuff, I said, you know what? I'm going to do like a little fundraising type thing. I'm going to sell some t-shirts, sell some hats. And I had people from the school, I had people from high school that I haven't talked to in years reaching out to me, buying shirts, buying hats, and it kept me going. And I didn't get any assistance from the government or the state. I couldn't get unemployment. Thank God I still have my UPS job as well, but I was struggling, and but I made it.
And you didn't give up?
I didn't give up. I think if I didn't have that mentality, if I had the high school mentality that I had, where I was always sulking, I was kind of like a emo kid, I probably would have gave up. But I said, you know what? I ain't giving up. I'm just gonna keep grinding, and now I'm open, and we're doing well, and haven't skipped a beat.
Yeah, and I think that's, thank you for sharing that, because that's awesome. And, but again, if you didn't develop that mindset, because how many times you've been on the mat, either you got submitted or a technique didn't work out, or maybe sometimes you don't want to be there, but you had the mentality, you were disciplined, you're not going to give up, you have this goal you want to achieve, and then you go get it, right? That's what the black belt is really about. On camera, I'm very proud of Bobby and all he's done. Now, I always learn from my students, but I'm really learning from him. We talk business as he's punching me in the face. So I just want you to understand that the black belt mentality, what we take years to learn, these are the characteristics of it. It's continuing to learn so you can improve to do better. He was talking about even doing more classes to get better at his occupation. The discipline to stay on course, not giving up when it doesn't go your way, and accepting if you fail, but keeping moving on your path, right? Because we're not going to be perfect at everything, but if you continue to grow, and we talked about this, continue to have fun at what you're doing, then you stay on your course regardless of what anybody else thinks. If it's pleasing to you, you go do it. So that's Sensei Bobby and Marc. Have that black belt mentality. Let me know what you think about this, and I don't think you could have given a better interview. So thank you.
Thank you.